Hey everyone, how are you today? My name is Owen Fox, and in this video I want to share with you some things that I know and that I've learned and studied over a very long period of time regarding concentrated fats and how they affect you in your diet and your energy and your blood system, your pancreas, your insulin receptivity levels, and your, like I said, your blood sugar levels, diabetes, and just overall like well-being, energy and circulation. And also not only concentrated fats but also concentrated carbohydrates or complex carbohydrates, or versus simple carbohydrates from fruit. So complex carbs are from cooked like roots, like stuff like potatoes, and comes from or rice, and grains like rice, or like stuff like bread, pasta, all that sort of stuff, cakes, biscuits, all that sort of stuff. Wastes a lot of energy for digestion, and is sticky and leaves a grimy, gooey, like sticky. It doesn't burn cleanly in our intestines and body, and it leaves a creamy, thickishy type of pasty residue of slime, like mucus and goo. And when you give up this sort of stuff, you'll learn more about this, how you feel in your body. So there's many different levels of diet, from like cooked versus raw. There's loads of different types of raw food diet. Like I think his name is I forget his name now. I don't know him extensively well, but he has like the 7 different types of raw food diet. And of course you could even like say there's much more. But in this video I want to like talk about concentrated fats. Like the last little while I haven't been having concentrated fats. Well, I've been having very, very, very little. And concentrated fats, first of all I want to say, there's essential fatty acids and amino acids in everything. So amino acids make protein, and essential fatty acids make fat. And there's essential fatty acids and amino acids in watermelon, bananas, everything. So you can say there's fat in bananas, but we're talking about the small microscopic building blocks, the subunits. And if you want to compare what that is, it's like saying a wall is a protein which is already built from the blocks, or a concentrated fat is like a wall built from the blocks of the essential fatty acids. And what we want if we're constructing a house or like getting in nutrients to our body, we don't want secondhand material of constructed walls where we have to deconstruct to get the bricks, because the body uses the bricks to make its own stuff, not walls. So we want a simple original version, not complex or concentrated versions. So we want the amino acids, which is the subunit of protein, not protein. We don't want protein at all. We want amino acids, and we want essential fatty acids, which, like I said, both amino acids and essential fatty acids are in watermelon, banana, apples, pears, celery. There's like small amounts in everything. We don't need these like concentrated amounts. And when we do that, one, it wastes a lot of energy. It slows down the body. We become tireder at night time and in the evening, and even in the daytime and after our meals. So if you're like cooking like carbohydrates, so what you want to do, just to simplify what I'm doing at the moment, is you want to follow what Arnold Ehret's called a mucusless diet healing system of very low levels of what causes mucus, or a grimy, sticky, thick, pasty residue, or at least none of it. So a mucusless or a mucus lean, a very low mucus lean level. So that's where I'm at the moment. Like, for example, I've been eating a raw vegan diet for the last maybe, I don't know, 2 months or more, more than 2 months. But I was going too much on the avocado, the homemade almond milk, even sometimes coconut yogurt. It was just like too much of the concentrated fat, and that stuff slows your system down a lot. Makes you feel more tired and less appetite, because it just takes so much digestive processing. And it's the worst processing would be cooked grains, especially like wheat and bread. They zomp you out. Or cooked animal products. They all leave like a really destructive, toxic residue that leads it creates a lovely, beautiful environment for worms and parasites and bad bacteria in your body. And the anaerobic, deoxygenated environment, because of poor circulation, blocking up, arteriosclerosis, all the sort of stuff, including brain degeneration and dehydration, which results eventually in cancer, heart attacks and stroke and dementia. So you don't want all that sort of dehydration stuff. So you want wet food that's low in the mucus forming. So what does that leave you with? What it leaves you with is you want to go as little to none of the nuts, seeds, oils, olives, durian, and avocados. So from a raw foodist and from a cooked foodist perspective, or an omnivore, you don't want stuff like dead animals, cheese, yogurt, all the stuff's high in fat. So you'll have clean blood, it'll burn quickly and easily, you'll have lots of energy, you'll eat a meal and you won't feel tired. I observed somebody over the Christmas time, they eat a meal and they started falling asleep on the sofa playing. Started falling asleep on the sofa after the food. But yeah, what you want is like to be energized after food, you feel energy. So what I've noticed recently from switching to a reasonably high fat, like raw vegan diet with complex recipes of salad. So I gave up salad, and I pretty much like gave up almond milk, and I pretty much gave up nuts and seeds, almonds, and I switched to having some cooked broccoli and cooked cauliflower or cooked courgette or zucchini. And all I did was, instead of adding on some like vegan mayonnaise or like butter, not that I have butter, but I have some vegan mayonnaise sometimes, instead of having any of this sort of stuff, what I had was sprinklings of nutritional yeast or tamari or soy sauce, or even like salt with like vegetable, like sort of powdered vegetables and herbs like basil, marjoram, thyme, like tomato, celery powder, that sort of stuff. So all this stuff is starchless. So you want a starchless diet and a concentrated fat-free diet. So that means no avocado, no nuts, little to no avocado. I think none is better, because you want to fine-tune your body and get higher energy, right? That's what I want, higher energy. So it's almost like a fruitarian diet, but you're adding in starchless vegetables. Like the only vegetables I eat are, like I said, zucchini or courgette, depending what part of the world you're in, and then broccoli and cauliflower. It's simple. It's like watery. There's no slime. If you go to the poop, that's another thing I want to say. How you poop and how your poop sticks to the tile or not sticks is a really good indicator of how much like pasty, slimy, creamy goo, sticky, dehydrating, hard to remove, backed up, stodgy, goopy stuff you have. And that can come from stuff that doesn't burn cleanly and exit easily. And that is like cooked starches, cooked dead animals or dead animal body parts, or even like eggs, any animal related thing whatsoever. Or from the vegan perspective, and the raw vegan perspective, it's stuff like fatty things like olives, durian, avocado is the biggest thing that, and then nuts and seeds. But so many raw foodies are definitely addicted to avocado. Like, I know people who switch to a fruitarian diet and they just go heavy. I know 2 people so far, pure fruits, pure heavy on the avocado. One of them even admitted he had a big addiction to it, couldn't give it up. And he was even adding in like flavorings to the avocado, so it'd be like a cooked food substitute, where you still feel like heavy, dehydrated, tired, full, stuffed. That's another, like, they're symptoms of wasting tons of energy and hard to digest and hard to move through your body food. So even if it's, who gives an F if it's fruit? Pun intended, half intended, as I was saying. Joke intended halfly and then started off not intended. So like, who gives a F? Who gives a fruit if it's classified as a fruit? If it acts, smells and looks like, okay, it doesn't look like, but acts like cooked concentrated fat, cooked dead animals parts, or it wouldn't be that bad. Now, it's not like a cooked dead animal. I'm not trying to say an avocado is like a cooked dead animal, but it has a similarity to it, like I said. But it's definitely resembling cooked starches like grains and potatoes and roots and tubers, all this sort of stuff. So that's not what you really want. What you really want is to feel light and hydrated and energized after food. And when you have concentrated fat, it really, 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 getting back to what I said earlier, it really, really like fills up your bloodstream with fat, oily, fatty stuff, fat slicks, oil slicks, or any oils. Obviously, they're like 100% fat, including avocado. And then that's going to like coat your insulin receptors. And then when you do eat like stuff like fruits or any cooked carbohydrate that's broken down into glucose, all that glucose is going to enter your bloodstream, and instead of going really quickly and easily flowing through your fast flowing blood to the cells, you're going to have slower flowing blood because of all the fat. and then when you try and go into the cells, the doorway that takes in the glucose to fuel the cell is now oily and slippery, and it doesn't open properly. The glucose can't get in because of the fat. So diabetes is a fat problem. It's not a carbohydrate problem, as the mainstream media have said. It's absolutely 100% not. It's all about a fat problem. Too much fat in your body, in your diet, in your blood, coating the insulin receptor cells. So then so your glucose now can't get into the cells. Then what happens next? It stays in the bloodstream. A certain amount gets in, way too much stays in the bloodstream. So now you got like high blood sugar levels. Then your pancreas is going to have to like squirt / release much more insulin again, and you're going to get like a tired and overworked pancreas, and you're going to have elevated blood sugar levels, and then it's going to crash eventually, and you can have you're much more likely for it to crash and have then too low. Whereas if you would do what I say, is a concentrated fat-free diet with little to no, none is better really, but just work with where you're at in your diet. Do your best, of course. If you do what I'm saying, Arnold suggested a Mucusless diet healing system diet, which it can go all along the spectrums, because it tailors to everyone's need of where they're coming from in their diet over the past few years. So I'm not saying it's just one way. It's the most flexible, loads of ways diet there is. The best diet in so many ways. It's free from dogma, and it just deals tailored to the individual where you're at. So I'd recommend his books, The Mucusless Diet Healing System and Rational Fasting, or even the 80-10-10 diet with Douglas Graham. That's like a pretty good diet too. It's like basically a low fat raw vegan diet too. So yeah, basically speaking, when you have like really good blood flow and low fat levels, then you're gonna have a really good fast release, a fast circulation of blood and glucose and nutrients in your blood to your cells, as well as a really easy uptake of glucose from the food you digest into your cells, because there's way less fat blocking the way into the cells, the insulin receptor. Okay, so what happens to me recently is I've way more energy all day long, a really good sustained constant energy instead of ups and downs, and I'm peeing a lot more because I'm way more hydrated. I'm obviously not dehydrated at all, and dehydration is heavily related to aging and stuff like brain issues like Alzheimer, dementia, and other things like that too, as well as overall eating a cooked animal product diet too, which is really plaquing to your blood vessels and your capillaries, your veins, your venules, arteries and arterioles. So I definitely highly recommend a cooked vegan diet and a Mucusless diet healing system with low starch and little to no starch or cooked animal fat. So fruits for energy, and the other stuff for salty tastiness. And then the best thing eventually to get off of that, because it's a system of progression, then you want to get eventually onto much more a fruit-based diet with maybe some green leaves like lettuce, or stick to the cooked Mucusless, starchless and vegetables. So really watery, easy to digest, kick-ass stuff that's going to make you feel on fire, top of your game. Okay, so that's what I recommend so much.